Good afternoon, Reignmakers. It's Priyan here from Reignway Realty, the channel which helps you on personal growth, personal development and real estate skills, really in order to better your life as a personal interest and also for growth financially as well. So today I wanted to discuss with you the three main sort of skills that you need as an agent in order to be successful. So they're not all the points, but I just wanted to pick up on three and try and make this a little bit shorter than my normal videos. So we're going to deal with the three main ones at the moment: marketing, communication, and time management. So marketing wise, working in the real estate world, especially in the UAE and America, not so much in the UK and Europe, you need to be the brand. You work for a brand already and a company, or you may actually be an entrepreneur and working for yourself. Regardless of which one you do, the techniques and how you do it and stuff change, but ultimately you need to be the brand. It is you who are the company. It is you who need to get out there and make sure that your name or your company name is basically out there for people to see. Now, when you do marketing, it's important to understand that, of course, there is the professional side of things, but ultimately I believe in Dubai that people also like to resonate with people themselves and have a connection with people. In this day and age at the moment, there's a lot of connection lost between people. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody does things through WhatsApp. So when I say do your branding and marketing, I'm saying it to do it from a business point of view, but also a personal point of view. Hence why I'm doing these videos myself. So marketing-wise, social media is one of the key assets to become successful in the UAE especially. Everything is done by social media or technology here. The reason being it's so hot that people don't hang around. Only joking. It's just something that they've got used to because of the fact that, you know, they're a new country, so they're able to develop the technology and the infrastructure quickly, adapt to it and change it. So they're much more responsive than, say, the UK and Europe in France and stuff, and therefore they're smaller communities, so everything can be done in a very efficient way. So everybody's on social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. So all that information that you have about yourself and your branding needs to go on there. It also needs to be consistent. It needs to have relevance to your job and also your life. What do you want to show in your life? You don't want to show in your life that you're basically, you know, going to the doctors, because that's not relevant. Everybody goes to the doctors. But if you watch football with people in a certain pub, that may be interesting to people to resonate with you in terms of the fact that, you know, you're into your sports, which a lot of people are. And also if you go to a certain shopping mall, showing the mall itself, because that's interesting in terms of why that mall is specifically good for what. And you may have a favorite shop or somewhere where nobody goes to, which you can educate people about. What does that do? It just adds credibility to you, shows your personality, which other people can resonate with, and makes you stick out from all the other people who are just showing properties and talking about product. Because ultimately I believe that it's a connection between people that does business. It's not the product itself. That is a secondary thing. And so you need to resonate with people and get the right vibe. So Instagram, LinkedIn is a very important way to get leads. The reason being is that LinkedIn is social media, but in a professional manner. So therefore, all the leads and people are trying to connect with you all have a business or an ultimate goal of actually achieving something, i.e. they're not just looking at it for fun. If you're in LinkedIn and you sell real estate, somebody will actually contact you to sell you real estate products, so you're actually getting sold to, so you get the flip side of what you're doing, but ultimately other people will also contact you within all those industries to say that they're moving to Dubai and they'd like to rent or buy, and you will get specific leads there which are very relevant. So all my people and friends and stuff who are high marketers have told me that LinkedIn is one of the most important ways of marketing yourself in social media. I haven't seen that yet myself because I've not actually done my LinkedIn page properly, but I do believe them, and that is something that I'm going to try to set up in the future. I'm actually using YouTube and social media, as in Instagram at the moment, in order to build my network up. So, second thing, communication. So, number one, you have to be able to understand your clients and communicate with them in a very, very easy and straightforward way where there is no resistance. What does that mean? It means you need to adapt to the person, not the other way around. If you feel somebody is more quieter and speaks in a much less voice, you need to speak to them like that. Don't come out charging like I do, saying, "Hello, sir, how are you doing?" Because they get scared straight away. They're already on the back foot. They're like, "God, this guy's so loud and stuff, he's hurting my ears." If they speak softly, you've got to speak softly back to them because you're mirroring them. For example, you know, if you have a real good synergy with people and you have a correlation with people, people have done tests where, like Anthony Robbins and people like that, where they can sort of lift up their right hand in a conversation, and the other person will lift up their right hand as well because they're in sync. So therefore, when you're actually doing a sale, you can actually get people to fall in sync with you. And then you know if you're in sync with them that you can actually do a sale with them and ask for the order because you're in sync with them. So there are various sales techniques that you can use in order to communicate and make sure that you are on the same page with them. So you need to build rapport. So that is rapport building in terms of what I spoke about, in terms of lowering your voice and then raising it or matching it. And also the way they walk and the way they talk and the way they move. That's all rapport building. Now you may think, but that's not me. It's not really, why should I do that? Am I trying to trick them? No, you're not trying to trick them. Ultimately, you're trying to sell them a home. And in order to sell them a home, you need to make them feel comfortable. If they don't feel comfortable with you because you're a shouter, you're going to lose a sale, not due to your personality or whether you're a good agent or not, just due to the fact that they don't bond with you or resonate with you because you haven't built the rapport with them because you're shouting as opposed to speaking quietly. So ultimately, speaking quietly is not showing that you're a different person or you're trying to trick them. You're just making sure that you have the rapport so that you can show your real true personality in a lower voice. So therefore, then they can actually deal with you and feel happy with you. Okay? So, other thing that you need to do is also be informative. Know your market, know what you're selling, know your community. If you don't know something, don't try and BS it. Just tell the truth. Sorry, I don't know that, but I'll find out for you. Sorry, that is not my specialist area, but I can take you there, and don't worry, I'll find out the information from people who are specialists who work at my company or from my friends who are informative in that area. So it's really important to provide key information because they're making the most expensive purchase of their life. So you need to know what sells in that community at what is the top end AED price, what has sold on this particular street in the last 6 months, and also what is, for example, are the closest schools close by. Because that's key information that they want to know, and that will allow them to make their decision. Sometimes somebody may live in a smaller house and a smaller community because the school is so close. I would, because I would prefer driving 10 minutes down the road as opposed to 25 minutes every day, because we don't think it's a lot of time, but when you do it every day and you've got kids and it's a hassle, it adds up. And I've learned that the hard way myself. So you've got to put yourself in their shoes and understand, because you may be able to get them to buy something a little bit different if you understand in one of my other videos what I spoke about, their key 3 needs. And if number 1 need is to be close to the school and walking distance even, then you know that they will sacrifice the house or the garden to be closer to a school as long as they're happy and they feel they can live there. It's also important to understand that there are certain times you can actually try to close a client and educate them into making a decision, but you have to have built rapport, you have to have done the viewings, you have to have built credibility, and you have to have got them to trust you. Then, only then, can you be a little bit forceful, and if they're being silly and not going according to what they said, or they're not going in the right direction, you can be like, "Come on, John, I got you this, you said you wanted this, I got you this, you said you wanted this, now you're telling me you want something else. You know, hold on, what's happening here? You know, I've got you the perfect product, have you got your mortgage sorted, do you really want to move or not? I'm not here to drive you around as a taxi just to show you homes, I'm here to find your home. Now tell me if there's something wrong here." So then you can find out the real truth behind it and be a bit more pushy. But therefore, you have to have that relationship with them, because otherwise they'll turn around and go, who the hell are you talking to me like that? You're just an estate agent, because everybody thinks estate agents are below them because they're showing the house as opposed to living in the house, and he's just going to reject you. So therefore, once you've built up the rapport and stuff, it's okay to be pushy or be more forceful in the direction you want to take them, but you need to build that rapport up and have that done. Now, coming on to one of the most important things that we need to talk about is time management. Why is time management so important? One of the reasons is because estate agency is a very fast-moving business. There's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. You get a lot of things coming in left, right, and centre. The CRM systems that the companies they use are all on one grid. So, for example, if I register somebody and call them up, and in theory I haven't called them for 5 days, the rule is in some of these agencies that then Bob can go call them because I haven't contacted them for 5 days or sent him a message. Now, what they're saying is that you should be in contact with all your buyers and sellers every 5 days. I personally don't think that's feasible, and I don't think that's the way to operate, because you may have a person who you've decided you're not going to talk for 2 weeks because they've gone on holiday, or they've told you that they're taking a break, or they've basically said to you that they are looking for a certain product which you haven't found them. So as a result of that, you wouldn't call them every 5 days, but they may then interrupt or send them a message because the agency are going to otherwise let somebody else call them. So there are certain time management things that you can use in order to make sure that you don't go off the point here, in terms of the fact that you need to have a system in place where, you know, you've got your hot buyers, you've got your buyers who are now hot but they're not looking, or hot and you haven't found them the product, and you need to have a system in place of when you call them, how you call them, register it, and so. Because one of the main complaints about estate agents is that they don't do their job properly. Why? Because they say they don't get called to. So the person looking calls you up and says, oh, by the way, can I see this property? And you go, oh, yes, I can take you to see that. And then he thinks to himself, why am I paying you any money? Because I'm doing your job for you. You had that property on your books and you haven't called me. I've had to call you to tell you to show it. And then I'm going to pay you money. So that's why, and the reason why you've not called them up is because, number one, you don't have a system in place where you have your 100 buyers, you know exactly what they do, how they do it, when when they were called, when you're going to call them, and you don't have it diarised. So as a result of that, that property comes in and you haven't got a system in place which then matches that property, and you know your clients inside out. So as a result of that, then they're calling you, or another agent calls them and gets the deal. So you need to have a really good process and system in place in order to communicate efficiently and be on top of the game. Now, the second thing for time management is not running around like a headless chicken. What do I mean by that? So when I used to work at Foxtons, we had a strict time management day, and we were not allowed to do anything different. Come in at 8:30, meeting, 9 o'clock on the phones, 9 till 12, it used to be calling back all the people that viewed the day before, getting feedback and booking viewings from those people and booking in new viewings. I tried to book in 5 or 10 viewings during that 9 to 12 slot. 12 to 2 o'clock, you had to do viewings. From 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, you did deal chasing in the UK, call it, or here, the same thing, calling up, checking that the buyers are happy, sellers are happy, that the process is going through. Now in Dubai, sometimes these companies pass that conveyancing on to another department, but I still think you can call the department up to check on your buyers and sellers, and also call them up and ask them how they're doing and stuff, because ultimately when it comes down to crunch time and somebody's saying that they are not going to do the deal unless the fridge is included, if you come in and say, oh, by the way, they're like, hold on a minute, you haven't spoken to me for 3 weeks, I don't even know who you are. Oh yeah, you're the guy who sold me the property. They'll be like, go get out of here. Whereas if you've been speaking to them, you built rapport up with them, which we discussed in the communication thing, what will happen is they'll be like, okay, Priyan, I understand. Tell him you can negotiate and then get the deal done because you've kept rapport and communication. So it's important to keep in contact with them. Then from 4 till 8 o'clock at Foxtons, we did viewings again. And then because I was so busy, I would come into the office again at 8 o'clock and I would just call up my buyers and sellers until about 9, 10 and then go home. So if we wanted to do a viewing at 8, 9:30 or 10 in the morning, we were not allowed to, because our managers would say, no, you're in the office, that's the time you're in the office, you get it done then. And he said, if they haven't got you, it's not, we were open Saturdays as well and Sundays. If this person doesn't have the time to come when you are there, then they're not interested in buying the property. You are busy as an agent as well. You are important. So don't just run around like a headless chicken and say, yeah, I'll go do that viewing. Yes, I'll go do this one. Because you have a system in place. So therefore, we were never allowed to do viewings. And then that adds credibility to who you are and what you are. I know in the UAE, it's a little bit different because another agent can then that buyer can then call another agent and go see it through him. So I'm not telling you not to do it that way, but make sure you do it in a way where you have your day structured. So therefore, yes, if you do a viewing in the morning, which wouldn't have been allowed at Foxtons, you can still do that here, of course, in order to make sure you get the viewing done and somebody else does it for you. But then flip the calendar and then do your deal chasing and stuff after. Don't just go off to coffee and stuff. So make sure you have your segments of the day of exactly what you do and how you do it. So that then will also make you more efficient in your keeping up with your clients and your buyers and sellers, and also the chasing up of your new business and stuff, and also dealing with your sort of marketing and everything. So it's important to have that time management in process. And for example, if a task comes in, you know, there's books and stuff that you can read. Let's have a look over here. To-do list. So the to-do list done by, I can't remember his name now. Anyway, there's a to-do list book done by, missed my name. But he talks about, for example, if a task can be done in 5 minutes, do it straight away. Then it's out and finished. If it can't be done, then categorize it into a place where it has to be either sorted out later, or it goes into urgent, not urgent, or another pile to do in a later date. So therefore, whenever something comes into you, it's categorized and done straight away. Then you don't have to think about it. Don't have to remember it. So again, have a system and process in place. There's amazing books that you can read on this. I've read loads of them and I've got a system in my place. I use Microsoft To Do. So if anything comes in, I put it in the phone onto organize later. Then I'll go to my task or to do this and then categorize it. If I can do it in 5 minutes, I will do. So use the same system for your leads and what you do. So if you combine all those three things well, right from the beginning, you will be a successful agent. But you have to have consistency. You have to make sure that you don't just do marketing for 1 or 2 days, you don't have your time management for 1 or 2 days, that you don't communicate with people for just 1 or 2 days. It's a combination of all of them over months and months and months. Even if you're doing well and you've got a sale, don't take your foot off the pedal. It's not a case of slamming going to 100 miles an hour and then coming off. It's about cruising at 60. Cruising at 60 gets you the most efficiency in a car. It's the same analogy. You don't burn a lot of fuel. You don't lose a lot of fuel. You're cruising and gaining the maximum potential for your business. So use those skills. I hope you find that useful. Click on my link or subscribe or join or give me a thumbs up. And I look forward to speaking to you again. Take care, Reignmakers.